Do you feel that you finish your day completely drained, or maybe you have some difficulties to wake up and you feel sluggish when you wake up? Do you sometimes have this moment where you feel that you are crashing in the middle of the afternoon and you are looking for something either sweet or maybe salty, crunchy, or maybe caffeine would do it? So there might be many reasons for this problem, but one of the main reasons in Ayurveda is you could be living out of sync with the natural rhythm, aka the circadian rhythm. So that's what we're going to talk about today. According to Ayurveda, all the cells in our body have that internal clock that sync with the natural cycle of the season. So when we ignore the cycle of nature and we get out of sync, then we might get into trouble. From an Ayurvedic perspective, there are two different times during the day. We have the 12 hours of day and 12 hours of night. Obviously, depending on the season, you're going to have a longer period of daylight and a shorter period of nighttime. To make it simple, we're going to take a day of 24 hours starting at 6 a.m. in the morning, and we're going to divide that into two different sections. 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. would be the daytime, and 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. the next day would be the nighttime. Remember that that's changed depending on the season. The sun will rise early in the day. Depending on the season, the sun will set later in the day. So let's explore the dosha clock. So the first cycle starts with the Kapha time between 6 a.m. and 10 a.m. In nature, it's the time when moisture is going to start to rise. Same thing happen in the body. If you stay in bed during that time, that natural moisture is going to start to rise and you're going to feel heavier the later you wake up. So that's why in Ayurveda, we advise to wake up before the sun. And I know it's very early, especially the summer times, but it makes sense. So at least if you can wake up before 6:30 a.m., that's actually a great time that will avoid that heaviness to build up in your system. Another thing is that at that time of the day, it's actually a great time to do some exercise because kapha is related to the structural and muscle part of your body. It's a great time to exercise. So at least going for a walk, that's actually a great idea. There's two more important things to consider in here. Being exposed to that sunlight, even when it's a cloudy day, it's a very good idea. The second thing, your digestion is not as is peak yet. Having a small breakfast is a good. If you are actually not hungry at that time, do not eat. Let the digestive fire build up. The second time of the day is between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. and that's what we call the Pitta time. Remember, Pitta is that energy of fire and water. At that time of the day, your fire is going to be very active. It's a great time to do the work that needs to be done. You're going to have the energy around 10 a.m. to really do some tasks that need your focus because Pitta is the focus. So what are the things that you need to do between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m.? First of all, around 12 or 1, a good idea is to feed your digestive fire. It's the best time to have the biggest meal of the day because your digestive fire will be able to burn all the elements that will be sent to the different part of your body and that will nourish your body. So focus and digestions, basically everything that's transformative is actually great at that time of the day. Then we're going to go to the third cycle, which is the cycle between 2 p.m. and 6 p.m. And that's a cycle where Vata is going to be predominant. So it's that time of the day when your brain is going to ask for some fuel and look at the correlation with the Pitta time. If you fed your Agni properly during the Pitta time, then all that energy will be able to run at that time to help go through the Vata time. If you don't eat something consistent enough at the Pitta time, then during the Vata time, you're going to find all this craving happening. Evaluate, see how things are going for you and adjust, for the next day. Basically, if you did not eat enough food for lunch and if you feel yourself scattered and looking for some snacks, maybe reevaluate and the next day have a bigger lunch. Also, at that time of the day, between the hours of 2 and 6 and towards more like the 4 to 6 area, it's a really good time to slow down, to ground yourself. Since the energy of Vata is that air and space element, it's a really good idea to counter that energy and find some time to just sit, have your feet on the ground, and be still. All right, so we talked about that phase during the daytime. It's very, very simplified, but you get the idea. Now let's talk about the next 12 hours. It's very simple because we're going to go again with the same cycle between the time of 6 p.m. and 10 p.m. We're going to find ourselves again in the Kapha time. But this time, it's a little bit different because instead of having a rise of the cortisol that kind of like making you stuff, we have a rise of the melatonin, that hormone of sleep that's kick in 18 hours of the day. So the best things to do at that time of the day is feed yourself as early as you can, meaning that in Ayurveda, we don't like late dinner. If you can have your dinner around 6:30 p.m. It's ideal, and a light dinner. If you want to do a little bit of exercise, it's okay, but do not do anything very active. Think about more stretching. You can still go for a walk, but don't do anything that will go against the fact that the natural melatonin is rising in the system. You don't want to have any excitement. Later in that time, between 8 or 9 p.m., just think about maybe start to slow down, avoid any use of phone, computer, or even TV. Try to dim the light and try to prepare the body to go to sleep. Next phase is again a Pitta phase, but this time it's the Pitta phase between 10 p.m. and 2 p.m. So remember, I told you that during the day, that was a focus on transformation. Now actually is a good time to slow down and to sleep and let your internal body to do all the cleaning that needs to be done. And that's the time where your brain is going to reshuffle everything, is getting rid of what's not necessary. There's a reprocessing of what's happening during the day. And there's also a time when your body is going to clean up everything. Your body and your mind is going to detox. The most important things, go to bed before 10 p.m. if you can. And then the last cycle is again a Vata cycle. And it's going to happen between 2 a.m. and 6 a.m. So the melatonin level is at its peak. This is the time of the day where things are very quiet. And if you likely get to bed very early, you're going to have a moment where the mind and the body is going to wake up naturally and quietly. You won't feel fatigued because everything would have been cleaned up properly. It's also a good time before the sunrise if you want to start a practice of meditation or just being silent, basically. The more you do that at that time of the day, the more your body will actually have that imprint and you will keep that for the rest of the day. Trust me, that's the best way to ground yourself is to wake up in the morning very early and just maybe start with a few minutes of meditations, a few minutes for yourself that will ground your system a lot. And then the cycle start back again with the Kapha time, etc., etc. So you can see that cycle coincide also with the cycle of the season. So you can see that the spring is going to be like more the season of Kapha, the summer is going to be the season of Pitta, and then the fall and part of the winter is going to be the season of Vata. So it's matched the season. Before I leave you, I just want to remind you for 2026, from April 8th to April 17th, I'm organizing Spring Detox. And part of the Spring Detox actually is like working on going to bed early and waking up early to be in sync with the season. If you want to give it a try, the link is in the notes, and let me know if you have any questions. Take care of yourself.